Welcome back to the Skift Daily Briefing. It's Thursday, March 12th, and I'm Sarah Dandashi. Today, Canadian travel to the U.S. is down for the 13th straight month. Hilton CEO is calling out a long slide in U.S. inbound tourism and pushing for a comeback plan. And Airbnb just hired a heavy hitter to unify operations as it tries to become a true entire trip platform. Let's get into it. First up, Canada to the US. And this trend is not letting up. February marked the 13th straight month of declines in Canadian residents returning from trips to the US. The drop was meaningful by car and even bigger by air. And the key detail here is momentum. There are very few signs this reverses quickly. A majority of Canadians say that they're less likely to visit US destinations in 2026 than last year, and that sentiment is strongest among baby boomers. At the same time, Canadians aren't suddenly staying home, they're just shifting. Mexico has been a major beneficiary. Routes to Toronto to Cancun have surged, and airlines are leaning into it with more seats and more service. The bottom line here is that this isn't a 1 month blip, it's a demand reroute, and it's already reshaping airline networks. Next up, Hilton CEO Chris Nasada is zooming out, and he's not being subtle. He said the US has lost half of its share of global inbound tourism over roughly 30 years, going from around 10% to about 5%. And he framed it in the way that any business leader would. If your company lost half its share, leadership would change fast. He also pointed to additional weaknesses in inbound demand over the past year, including what he described as the fight with Canada. But he's not only waving a red flag, he's arguing the upside is massive. Even regaining part of that lost share could mean significant economic activity and millions of jobs. He also sees tailwinds that could support broader demand, especially in the US mid market. And he's calling for a more serious strategy to attract visitors, including funding Brand USA and making travel feel more welcoming and frictionless. The takeaway here is that the US has big events ahead: World Cup, America's 2050th, and the LA Olympics. But without a real inbound strategy, it risks leaving growth on the table. Third up, Airbnb is making an operational move that matches its bigger ambition. The company just appointed Gus Fuldner, formerly a senior leader at Uber, overseeing areas like safety, support, payments, insurance, and identity, as its new head of global operations starting March 16th. He'll oversee community support, host relations, fraud and safety operations, and air cover insurance. And this hire is happening at a very specific moment. Airbnb is expanding beyond homes. It's widened hotel inventory, relaunched experiences, launched services, and it's been rebuilding the app into a platform that can plug into multiple parts of the trip. CEO Brian Chesky's message to employees was essentially, we need to unify teams and systems into one intelligent AI powered service platform that improves trust, personalization, quality, and scale. Now, here's the big picture. If Airbnb wants to own more of the trip, operations is the engine room. And they just hired someone who helped scale one of the most complex consumer logistic platforms on the planet. Well, that's it for your Skift Daily Briefing. For more travel industry news, head to skift.com. And as always, subscribe to the newsletter at skift.com/daily. Thanks so much for listening.